This is the Criterion Creeps podcast, and tonight we're talking about Bicycle Thieves from 1948, directed by Vittorio De Sica.
Who?
Vittorio De Sica.
Which one?
De Sica.
Oh, okay.
The Vittorio.
The?
And a synopsis
Yeah.
from Letterboxd.
Uh-huh.
No tagline for this film.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio, an unemployed man in the depressed post-World War II economy of Italy, at last finds a good job hanging up posters, the only requirement for which is that he must have his own bicycle. When Antonio's bicycle is stolen, he and his son are forced to walk the streets of Rome in search of it, or else face ruin.
I mean, that's a little drastic. Potentially. Or is it accurate? I don't know. I didn't watch this movie, so you'll have to tell me about it. Yeah.
Did you listen to this movie at least?
I definitely Googled it, but I think I got it wrong. And so I just got pictures of like Duffy bikes and like Huffy bikes. You know about Huffies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Hey, do you remember
I figured it out.
A few years ago when Creepsville was being terrorized by bike thieves?
Okay, so I got a story for you. You know my buddy Ham Meat?
Yep.
So he lives in a basement suite, and he has the garage in the back, and his garage back has an alley on it, and it's like one of those roll top garages, but there's a big lock on it. His garage has been broken into 4 separate times, and they have stolen 4 of his bikes.
Jeez.
And he doesn't have a car, so he actually he invests in a good bike. I don't know what a good bike is, like $1,500 or something.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah. So he actually has good bikes because he needs them. And what they do is they peel that garage up. They peel it up, and he's like, I don't know how they keep he was even locking it in his garage, which was already locked, double locked, and they were peeling in there and stealing his bikes. So Creepsville, bicycle thieves.
It's
real.
It was a blight.
This is in the last 2 years, apparently.
I believe that I don't know if it's cooled off, because I know there was one of these markets, one of these exchanges, as seen in Bicycle Thieves, got broken up. But there was a network. I don't know. I didn't realize that there was that many people wanting to buy bikes so desperately, and they're willing to buy ones from questionable sources. Well, yeah, it's there's a bike exchange. Where is it? I don't know. But you hear about it.
Yeah.
But you see these weird. You hear about these weird yards in town where it's they just have hundreds of bikes. You go, that's odd. Mm-hmm. A coworker of mine, he's got lots of bikes in his office, but he likes them.
How many bikes do you own?
0.
What do you not care about the environment?
No.
Would you not care about your physical well-being?
I mean, it feels like you could buy a bike, it's just going to get stolen.
Oh, in this economy?
In this economy?
Yeah, it is going to get stolen.
I think about it every once in a while, but I never do it.
Yeah.
No, I rode bikes a lot. When I was a lad.
Were you a dirty bike kid?
No dirt biking. No.
No, not dirt bike. A dirty, bike kid.
No.
Driving around with shitty pants and shits in your pants and
no.
All the neighborhood is get out of here.
I was getting paid to put posters up around old Italy.
Who was paying you this money?
I don't know, some weird old guy.
And it was all there was.
He said I looked real good in those pants. Shitty pants.
That's what I'm worried about.
He's in jail.
Good.
Hey,
yeah.
RJ, an old familiar friend is back.
Which one?
This week. The post-war Italian landscape. Remember that? You hear about this?
Is there any metaphors?
I don't think so. It seems pretty straightforward.
It's a straightforward one?
I think this is what the kids like to describe as a melodrama.
Oh, okay.
I know some people don't like melodramas, and they like to remind us how they don't like melodramas. However, I do like melodramas.
Yes, you do.
When done well.
Yes, you do. Yeah. What else do you like?
I like this Vittorio De Sica guy, aka Vittorio So Sick.
Really?
Yeah, I like you know that Umberto D movie we watched?
No.
With the little dog.
Yeah.
Old man and his dog.
Yeah, I'm aware of that guy.
Same guy, same director.
What else has he done?
The Maestro. I don't know those.
Those two? Okay, so Bicycle Thieves.
That's all that matters.
Bicycle Thieves and Umberto De.
That's right.
Umberto.
So this is a movie I had seen once before, several years ago.
Come on.
What?
No, you haven't.
I have.
No, you haven't. It's the first time watch. We all know it.
No.
We all know it.
So, but you remember RJ? There's been some other Vittorio De Sick guys movies, less good.
That we've watched?
Yeah, we sure have on this podcast.
Which ones?
Less good. The Indiscretion of an American Wife. That thing. And the children are watching us.
Oh, that was a certified Jarrett pick.
Oh, that movie stunk. But
yeah,
he hadn't his groove yet. He hadn't really slipped into that
Depression era stuff.
Neo-Italian era. That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Or
that's not bad.
Weird American stuff. Anyways, yeah, I watched this movie for the very first time in July of 2016, right after watching Grand Budapest Hotel.
Is that a good double feature, do you think? Or
that was a rewatch too.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, is that a good pairing, those two films?
Maybe. Oh, I even shortly thereafter rewatched Vivre sa vie. Some good Godard. Man, Innocent Days.
Well, yeah. When you watched
I even watched The Beaver that week.
Oh, that's a great film. Jodie Foster.
No.
You know about Jodie Foster?
Not good.
Well, Jodie Foster, though.
But what I did watch was The River Wild from 1994 that at the same time. That was decent. And The Andromeda Strain, which is really good.
Really?
Yeah.
The Andromeda Strain. The book?
Yeah, based on
the
book.
Or the film?
1971.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never read the book. I've never seen the film.
From director Robert Wise.
Yeah. My man?
Your man.
The Robert Weiss?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's incredible.
So, yeah, this era, when we talk about these Italian movies, it seems like for about 20 years, it's like all these cities in Italy are just surrounded by like these desolate deserts. These wastelands, and people just kind of emerge out of it. It really feels like some squalor happening and desperation, and there's not a lot of context given to it, because I think that when these movies were being made, they were thinking about making these movies for Italian audiences. I think so. They don't have to explain a lot of it, but watching it, 50 plus years removed from that context, sometimes you're like, man, like they don't really talk about what's going on. They do not talk about World War II, which might have been a dictate from like studios. It's like, we don't talk about that.
We don't do that here. Yeah. Like that kind of thing.
Right. So everyone, you're depicting things as they are.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, things are rough.
Well, I mean, things are rough for everybody,
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time you had a good time?
I don't know. It seems like I have good times several times a week, things that I enjoy doing. And then there's sometimes it's just kind of like nothingness.
Oh. Like,
till you get to the next good time. Till you get to the next super chicken burrito.
Oh, is that all life is?
Yeah.
Is waiting for the good things?
Yep.
And what if they never come?
Wait for a microwave burrito.
Yeah, they do microwave it at taco time, man. That's a funny thing they do.
They do. It needs a little bit of heat.
And it's just kind of open. Like, I like that they don't hide it. Like, it's in front of everybody. Like, the microwave's in front of the store, like where we are facing. And they say, "Here, I'm going to throw this in the microwave for you." And you go, "Okay."
I mean, they make it in front of you, and then
well, that's what I mean.
They finish it off in the microwave.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'd rather that
taco
than
time, because they're thinking about your time.
Is that what it stands for?
Maybe we just unlocked the secret.
The taco time is about actual time.
10 to 15 seconds. They don't have time for a conveyor belt of heat.
That's pretty incredible.
No, they're doing me a favor. So what's this movie about, RJ?
I don't know.
Well, we got our main dude, Antonio. The movie opens up with a whole sea of humanity, of men lining up to get the call. They've got their tickets. They've got their classifications for labor. And it's kind of like being pulled out of a hat, and whenever there's a shortage of labor. So I don't know. I'm not sure if at this point in time people are allowed to like put out like hiring posts, or if there's like a mechanism, because there's so many people out of work that you actually have to put it through like proper agencies, like through the Department of Labor, and they disseminate these jobs and allocate them per jurisdiction. And so people just have to line up and wait till their name and qualification are called, and then you get to start making money so you can make a living and eat.
Well, that doesn't matter though, right? You don't need that.
So the call comes for Antonio.
Yeah.
And it's putting posters up advertising movies, or
I thought it was pornos.
Rita Hayworth. Well, they're an insatiable people.
The Italians?
Yeah.
Or the pornos? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we need someone to market something, even though it's like marketing things to people with no money. I mean, that hasn't changed at all, but like at all. So anyway, he's like, yeah, I can do this, but the catch is you got a bike, right? Well, not at the moment, because it's in Hawk. He's like, well, I can't give you this without a bike. So, do you have a bike? And so there's all these guys who are like, hey, I got a bike. I can do this. I'll take the job. He's like, you can't. You don't have the...
You don't got the bike, son.
It's not you don't have the bike, but you're a bricklayer. This job isn't for bricklayers. It's for a guy to put things up on walls.
He said, listen, I don't make the rules. I just read the jobs. Oh.
That's right. You can do overtime putting posters up.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys can. Look at what kind of overtime you can do with a podcast.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Tens of dollars.
Yeah. Well, at least.
So he takes it, but now Tony takes this little permit to have a job, and he goes home, tells the wife about the dire situation. It's like, I gotta get my bike back, and his wife's like, well, we gotta eat, so I gotta sell the good linens from the dowry that we're sleeping on. So we're gonna sleep without sheets, and we've got the ones that are unused. We're gonna sell them or pawn them off, and hopefully when everything's up and running and you're putting those posters up real good, we can buy it back, but with interest. So they make the exchange. He gets his bike back, and while he's waiting for his bike to be found, and there's like hundreds of bikes, there's this very I don't know, low-key disturbing shot of this giant like shelving that is just
where he's climbing it.
Well, this man is climbing freeform, before OSHA came and ruined everyone's good time of men just clambering up wooden shelves without harnesses or ladders, because that's how we did it in the old world.
I also just, the miles and miles of repossessed items that this man is
all linens. Yeah, it's
positioning.
like there's there's hundreds, like thousands of pounds of linens on this shelving, and he's just climbing up, and you're like, oh, that's a lot of people who are hawking everything they've got just to make it by. We have a man selling his binoculars.
Let's also not forget that this man is scaling that scaffolding in a suit.
Yes.
So that's not the most nimble thing. Do you think he split his pants?
It was classy back then.
He split his pants?
Which of the clothing was better made? Clothes didn't tear back then. They lasted a lifetime.
So if you had to like bend over to fix your like plug or whatever, those pants wouldn't rip.
You bend over to fix your plug.
What do you mean, Jared? What are you talking about?
So anyway, Antonio, he's got his bike back.
Sure he does. Sure he does.
We get this really great. Oh yeah, before we get to that, we had introduced to Bruno, his son, because he's got two kids. He's got like a little infant,
little baby,
and he's got Bruno, who's just like a full grown man boy, who's got a job. He's already got a job, RJ. He pumps gas. He works at a gas station. And he's like a, I don't know, like a 50-year-old 5-year-old.
I mean, Bruno is he's the heart of this film.
He's the heart of this film, and he's got this like little like man face.
You ever seen 13 or 30?
You see that little nose on that kid?
Yeah. You ever seen what those a mug. 13 or 30 things or 30s where it's like, is this person 13 or are they 30? It's impossible to tell.
Impossible to know.
Yeah. So one or the other, I don't know.
So anyway, he drops Bruno off at work, and I guess like before that, after they pick up the bike, his wife needs to make one little visit, and they go and visit. It's like a psychic or advice woman that lives in this apartment building, and so there's this really cool thing that happens in the movie. Because you know the title is Bicycle Thieves, and you know every single time that Antonio like leaves his bike anywhere, there's this risk. So he's like carrying it around with him when he goes to get pick up his supplies to do his job. And they're like, "What are you doing carrying around the bike? Why don't you set it down?" He's like, I need this. This is my livelihood." Like really, it is his livelihood. Yep. And every time he leaves it, you're like, "Oh man, is it going to be gone?" Nope. So that's kind of nice. But anyway, yeah. So there, I just kind of had noted here that there was kind of this like lack of context around like the labor situation, other than it sure seems bad. It sure seems people are having a tough time, and it's just what it is. But there's no like, why is that?
I don't know, Jarrett. What is the reason for that?
I don't know. Let's ask a historian on post-war Italy. I imagine it's the same as most countries that were like aggressors, and when they lose, things don't go great for the people. And of course, it's the people who suffer.
It's the people.
It's the people. It's always the people.
Yeah.
Some of the leaders, they might just get hung, they get executed, but a lot of the bureaucrats that like manage to sneak their way through, they maybe rise up in the ranks, and they're still left to their own devices, and they're going to make sure that they wind up okay. But for everyone else, we'll balance it off of their backs.
Yeah. Some would say that in history, the victors write history.
Well, this happens too.
Is what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So
Blitzkrieg.
We Blitzkrieg. Thank you. Tell me about Winston Churchill, Oliver. So anyway, we have a lot of repeating of themes from Umberto D as well, which is also about the struggle of the common man in post-war Italy. And I'm here for it, RJ. I'm here for it.
You personally are here for that?
I'm here for this.
Okay.
We get this like incredible, nice little shot of people on bikes, like the bicycle fleet in the morning. It's like everyone. Like, there's not like cars everywhere. It's not like you're shooting, I don't know, in like Cowtown with everybody jammed up on Deerfoot.
Pickup truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collisions. Like no, everyone's just on bikes. It's very idyllic.
It's just like living in Colorado, Jarrett.
Colorado.
Bikes everywhere. Yep. Everyone very eco-friendly.
Aspen.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Where do you think that came from?
So RJ.
Yeah.
In the world before social media, we had postering. When's the last time you looked at a poster in real life?
I saw a lost pet poster on my mailbox this today, and it made me sad.
Okay. What about before that? Was it also a lost pet poster?
I mean, probably. The only time I ever see posters, which is very,
I bet you see them all the time, but they make zero impact because you don't care.
I see sometimes band posters at like pubs and stuff, but I'm not at the pub drinking to see a band. They're just there for like lunch or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's posters at my work all the time. I couldn't tell you what a single one said.
Yeah.
I don't look at them. I'm not looking at that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I hear you.
What about what do you do for your job, Jarrett? You ever make posters?
I do.
Okay.
I'm still forced to.
And what is the what's the turnover on that?
Zero.
Okay.
It is a meaningless endeavor. For the amount of effort and cost that it is, I don't think it pays off.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not a fan. Not a
Can you make
fan.
some posters for this podcast?
I could.
For
can you imagine? Can you imagine spending like $100 on posters for a podcast? Like and hey guys, it's local. You gotta support local. Yeah. You want to listen to two people you don't know discuss the Criterion Collection.
Two people you don't know talk about movies you don't know and don't care about.
They're very inarticulate.
You could put the posters out in Cowtown. People might like.
We might get 5, and then they'll say like, ugh.
And people listening, 5 what? 5 single? 5 million?
5 people.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. So anyways, my next note was Rita Hayworth getting plastered around. We had to learn about the process of postering. You slime that glue on, and there's designated poster zones. You can't just put them all up around a wall. There's like a little.
I like that.
There's a nice little square. It's not too bad.
No room for graffiti.
Oh yeah, you get like some booting of children while being trained on the job.
There's a little rough handling.
Little kids like hanging out with their little accordions, panhandling, and they're getting too close. You give them a little boot. Yeah,
there's a little rough handling of people there.
Old world.
Well, some would say good times. Some would say, remember the good times, eh?
So we get some whimsical desperation.
Yeah.
It's like, people are like having a really hard time of it. But ain't that just life? It's never not like this.
Yeah.
This is what I've just said. We actually are almost at we're 1 minute and 40 seconds past the point where the thieves strike.
Oh shit.
Because it's 20 minutes almost to the minute. Or to the second in this movie where the bicycle thieves.
Is that significant?
I don't know. It's 20 minutes in. I looked at the time and went, there it is. So finally the tension bursts. And while Antonio's putting posters up, his attention's slightly off. His bike's leaning up against the wall, and he gets hit by a little a unit of bike thieves who got their whole thing set up. They've got each other covered to ensure the steal. He chases them down, but fails to catch up to them. He even gets a free cab ride to chase down the culprits. And of course, one of the pieces of shit says, I think that's him down that tunnel. I swore that was him. And walks off. And you go, oh my God, look at this guy's face. He's devastated. Everything he feared is coming to be. So, RJ, what would be the modern day telling of bicycle thieves? Like, it was, obviously car thieves, but would it be like an Uber driver, a skip the dishes?
No, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. It's not the hijacking of a car. It's the hijacking of a social media account.
Oh my God! What a twist!
What a twist! So we got a young lady, 19, 20, maybe 21. She's got a TikTok, Jarrett, and her TikTok is global phenom, but someone has hacked it. And what they are posting are all of the unmentionable things. Nothing lewd, but things of her like hanging out with her friends, things that don't fit her persona. And then posting things of this. It's obviously a man. He's probably a South African man, maybe of coal mining, diamond descent or something. He's posting some questionable stuff on there, and then lolling a lot and some fedora tips and things of that nature. So that's the modern day bicycle thieves is what I would say.
Okay. Going to horny jail over there, RJ.
What kind?
Horny jail.
What did I say that fit into that?
You just like went right into this like layup of like, then her account gets compromised.
I see it every day. You see it every day.
You see it every day.
You see it every day, Jared.
But like that person seems to actually have like a followership. This guy's just a guy. He's trying to make bread.
Okay. Alternatively, the other side of this would be someone steals your virginity. Since you're talking all hot and horny over there
at the Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Well, where else is it gonna happen?
Oh,
right on the buffet.
So. So he goes to the police station to report this, and of course the police are like, "Who gives a shit? It's a bicycle."
They said, "What do you want us to do? Check every bike in town?"
Yeah, you got the serial number. If you happen to see it, let us know. And this is where I noted the textures of this film, RJ.
Textures?
Yeah, you get the cobblestone like pavement. You get there's like the shelves behind the police officer of just like the paper filling it up. The weathered walls of like all these beat up old buildings. Because it's like this was Rome, part of Rome. It's like this could have been like war zones. There could be like old bullets in these walls that didn't get fished out. The fabrics, the dense fabrics that they use for old clothing. It's a really good preservation of the film on the Criterion channel where we watch this. It looks really good. Adds a lot of flavor to the movie, and like those shots of those guys on bicycles at the beginning riding along. Looks so good.
But you're a big bike guy, hey?
Oh, huge!
Yeah, I know you're a big bike guy. It's okay.
Big. Yeah. Then we get to the Creepsville bike swap, which is of course where you got to go find your bike, maybe. But of course, good pros. They take the bike, they sell it to somebody, they break it down. So the parts get spread around, so you can't identify it. And all bikes look the same. And then once you put some paint on it, it's good night. Because Antonio goes to a friend of his. He's kind of like I don't know if you'd call him a seedy man, but he's like he works in some like underground acting.
He's like a vaudeville guy.
Yeah.
You know about vaudeville, Jarrett? I could tell you about it.
I know. I've heard about vaudeville. I mean, I've been doing this podcast for a long time.
Yeah.
Vaudeville gets brought up. John Criterion loves a good vaudeville.
Yeah. Vaudeville meets Vagabond. Do you know about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we have presented in this one here. Just,
right.
Your casual fare.
That's right.
Fare. Yeah.
So
what are we talking about? He's
helping them out. They're looking around. There's lots of like shifting eyes and checking out gears and whatnot. I don't know why I laughed at this, but then we get even like the bike swap pedophile character who just like shows up for a cup of coffee. This like Steve Buscemi looking man who's just like starts grooming Antonio's son Bruno, who's helping out. He's just looking at the bikes like, oh, you're looking at those bikes, huh? You're looking at those bells, and you're like, whoa. And then of course Antonio comes along. He's like, yeah, maybe don't talk to my son. And he's like, very well. And that's it. There's no follow up, but it's just this like little added element of, oh yeah, by the way, folks, the audiences, there are some bad dudes out there. Keep an eye on your kids.
I noticed that, and when I watched it, I went,
Yeah, it's just there. It's just like, oh, it's like it doesn't go anywhere, but it's there.
I was very kind of not alarmed, but I went, huh?
But did you register? And you probably registered pretty immediately based on this man's mannerisms and the way he was playing. You're like, oh yeah, we know this guy's story.
I mean, I had an idea, but also he's Italian, so
it's a mixed bag.
So anything goes over there.
Yeah, this is a bit dark for even the Italian films we've watched. It's just in there.
I mean, this is the man who brought us Umberto D, Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
That's a different kind of darkness.
This is the man who brought us Deuce Bigalow 2, European Gigolo.
How could I forget?
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then the bike market. There's an attempted like calling out of a man. It's very tense exchange, and the guy's like very resistant about just sharing the serial number. And then then he has to get a police officer involved. He's like, "See, I didn't do anything." He's like, "Why do you have to be so caustic, dude?" Anyways, we run an honest place down here. It's like, come on. This bullshit. It's like, oh really? The bike swappers, like, people can steal bikes because the police are powerless to stop it. We don't do anything illegal down here. We're going to claim that as well. It's like, okay, you son of a bitch. Anyways,
what illegal shop will you shop at? So
then the rain comes down. Again, beautiful imagery. People like running out of the rain with their bike tubes and I don't know, spokes and bells and stuff like that. They have to clean up, wait for the rain to pass. We have this scene of like, consignores, the Italian papacy types, come running along too, and they chatter past the time. The rain passes, people can get back, but we get a break in the case. RJ.
And what is it?
It's like a guy that Antonio vaguely remembers. Maybe he stole his bike, is talking to this old man. So Antonio starts harassing this old guy and like really giving him the gears and following him around,
stalking chasing him through the church,
into the church where he's just trying to get a shave, and he's getting harassed. And then he finally gives up an address where the man could be found. Gets tossed out of the church. He's got his son along with him through all of this. Old Bruno. And he becomes like very dejected after he loses sight of this old man. They're like walking into traffic. Bruno almost gets run down by 2 cars. And then we get
just two.
But he kind of like leaves his kid saying, "Hey, you just sit here, wait for me. I'm gonna go chase down this lead." We get this kind of like brief, weird scare moment where it's like, "Oh, there's someone in the water. They're drowning." And then Tony's like, "Oh, is that Bruno?" I'm like, "What? Did Bruno go take a dip?"
Well.
But it's two random kids instead who are kind of drowning.
Did you think when you first watched this? Did you think Bruno did?
No.
Kind of tried to end it all.
I did not.
I thought he might have.
No.
I was kind of like the way things are going. I think Bruno maybe pulled the pin and he's like, "I'm out."
He went for a dunk.
Said, "I'm out of here, man. Whatever." But anyways.
But yeah, so like the whole scene with the old man though, the old homeless man, had some real Taken vibes. As he's a man on a mission trying to get his bike back.
Mm-hmm. By what means?
Any means necessary. Violent means.
Horny means?
Horny means.
Oh my god. Scary.
Yeah, so anyway, he does find this kid who he's like, "That kid stole my bike. He's wearing the same hat and everything." And it's like, it's totally this kid, right?
Yeah.
But of course,
100%.
The neighborhood stands up for their good boy, who also has epilepsy, of course. Oh man, I'm like, these people suck. They're just.
If there was a kid in your neighborhood, Jarrett, and let's
kid.
say
no one would give a fuck. People would be so fast to throw that fucking kid under the bus. They'd make up stuff about, I always had a bad feeling about that kid. I've never even seen him before. I think he's real bad.
What if he had scoliosis?
Even fat? Yeah, they don't care.
And no? Okay. Yeah, I think that this might have been Italy, old ways. But I think nowadays you'd be like, "Hey, have you ever met this person?" You say, "No, but with one look at him, I knew he was a pedophile."
What do you need me to tell you to get a conviction?
What is the answer here? Because I will tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
I will tell you right now.
You tell me. You write up whatever you need me to say, and I'll sign it. People love it. They love snitching.
Look, I'm a Law and Order type of guy.
Yeah. But these people, it's like, are going out of their way to just like cover
to protect this man.
Yeah, I guess because in their mind they're like, "Hey, we've known this piece of shit kid our whole life. It's he's our people. And this guy, who the fuck's this guy? Hey, what's the big deal? You look for a bike, go look for it elsewhere." Oh,
here's a question: did that kid really have epilepsy?
He might.
Okay,
or not.
I don't want to jump to conclusions, Matt.
But you think he might not have? You think it was a
part of
a ploy? He sounded like he was going to get away with it regardless. Like,
yeah, I agree. But then, do you think that that's something to sympathize with this boy? Is that he is from a struggling family? Also, he has a ailment that he can't control, so he needs to steal the bikes.
Do you think that's the
message?
You can't live on a little bit of money.
Yeah. Do you think that's it?
It takes away your pride, says the communist.
I mean, that's what they say.
Guy, that one meeting you see out of the corner of your eye. So that fails to pay off in any way. There's no bike in his bedroom or anything like that. Not that anyone should have expected that. And so Dad's now dejected, but he's desperate. I think at this point they go for lunch.
Did they go for lunch?
Yeah, there's a. I'm not sure if it's before or after this. They go for lunch at a restaurant.
After the church.
Okay.
So after he's stalking the old dude and really alienating his kid, and his kid is really kind of...
He gives him a smack.
Yeah, he gives him a smack, and then he kind of sees that his kid is like his kid aged 30 years in a minute, because the kid's just like, fuck you, dad. He's like, I don't need you anymore. But then the dad's like, I still want you to love me, son. You gotta respect your father.
Let's go get some mozzarella.
Yeah, and he's like, we're gonna go to the restaurant. You order whatever spaghetti
I'm gonna down this wine here.
Yeah. So he takes him, and it's supposed to be like, he says, see, life is a good. You eat the spaghetti.
Look at that family over there. And he starts making the kid do some maths on a napkin.
Yeah. He said, write it down.
Look how much money I could make.
You needed a math if you want to be a successful.
But baby, I need that bike. I need a bike. Any bike. And then, how the tables turn as Antonio must begin making decisions as he gets closer and closer. Be like, I'm looking for this bike, and it's not going to happen. And we're going to find this bike, but there's bikes everywhere. There's bikes everywhere, and things become full circle as he's standing in front of this apartment. Oh yeah, he goes and sees the psychic woman, and she gives him nothing for his troubles. He has to pay her money for it. I'm like, yeah, don't do that, my dude. But yeah, he sees this bike kind of just inside of just outside a door of a building, and he's looking at it, keeping an eye on it. And he looks over, it's like the Coliseum or something like that, and there's like 1,000 bikes that I don't think are locked up at all. And you go, how do people even keep track of this? How do they even know which one's theirs? Maybe, you know what?
They sure do, though.
Maybe we shouldn't have private property. Maybe everyone should have access to bikes, and then you just don't care. You're like, oh, there's my bike, and you just leave it. Wouldn't that be great? Think about the relief, the lack of tension that would the release that would come after that. But that's dangerous talk, you see. So, he does it. He grabs a bike, and as soon as he grabs this bike, a guy just appears out of the door. Hey, it's my bike! And all these guys start descending on him. This is like, I was thinking about this. This is like something out of The Simpsons. Like this whole movie has like these like,
he stole that guy's
the
bike.
people of Rome, these community people. It's just like The Simpsons, where it's like there's no one around, and then there's suddenly everybody around, and then there's like all the people are bad and defending people, and then they're all over top of you. You're like, never try, because someone's gonna be breathing down your neck, and they're gonna be jumping you. But luckily for Antonio, Bruno is sticking by him. And you give him doe eyes to this old man whose bike he just like stole or attempted to steal. And the guy's like, heck. Whatever. I got my bike back. Let him go. We're not going to give him to the police and ruin this kid's life. It's not worth it. So he dodges that bullet, but he completely has lost face or embarrassed himself in front of his son. And the two walk into the crowd. Nothing resolved. And fine, it comes up on the screen.
Yeah. It's also okay. I'll talk about what that ending means in a bit. I understand metaphors, so yeah. Tell me about Finn.
Fine.
Tell me about Fine.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of the movie. So this was my, as I mentioned, this is my rewatch of the movie that I watched for the first time, 6 years ago. I thought the movie was good. Didn't. I don't know. It was a decent movie. I didn't love it. On rewatch, though, this is a really good movie, RJ.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. It was nice watching a good movie after, I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been a really long time. But this movie's like 90 minutes. I think it's a easy watch. It's a breeze.
Sure.
Very simple story.
Sure.
Our main boy, Lamberto Maglioni, is really good. Our
Lamberto
lead.
D?
No.
Or the other one?
Lamberto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who's also in Mama Roma. Remember Mama Roma?
He plays Mama Roma, doesn't he?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. I was just
he's
checking.
Great. Bruno. I'm assuming that's going to be Enzo Staiola.
You got to go for Enzo.
Little Enzo.
Yeah, you got to get him.
But it's basically those two doing everything. And the movie's super straightforward. Looks great. Nice story. Kind of a dark, sad ending. With this unresolved. No happy endings in this. And which is like, whoa, that's not how movies end in 1948. For like this type of thing. Everything's supposed to be all smiles and sunshine by the end. And it's like, no, it's not.
You said, where's Harry Potter?
Where's Potter?
He's supposed to show up and make a bike out of
exactly.
magic.
Surely, like, one of these priests could have coughed up a bike if asked.
Well, maybe. If asked.
Maybe.
But when's the last time you were asked for a bike that you made good on that?
Well, they could ask. I'd be like, I don't got no bike.
Yeah, that's what they all say, though. They say, yeah, just selfish bike hoarder again. Mm-hmm. Just like all the rest.
That's right.
All the rest. Yeah. So tell me more how you really feel.
That's good.
Okay.
Very good, I think. It's in the last 75 films we've watched. It's in that top tier, top 10, okay. I think. I think if you're in the mood for a little bit of Italian neorealism and some melodrama, a nice little straightforward story, some good little tension. Mm-hmm. I think this is a movie you could watch.
Okay.
RJ, what did you think of Bicycle Thieves?
Bicycle Thieves? I don't know, man. There's this guy who really likes this movie, and I kind of have a personal vendetta against this guy. Mm-hmm. So, like, it was hard going into this because they're like, it's my favorite movie, and I went, I'm not gonna like it now out of spite.
Interesting.
But I did like it.
Yeah.
I as much as I would have wanted
spite hate
watch this movie because of said filmmaker in air quotes.
Oh.
You know who I mean.
Yeah.
Jarrett. You know who I mean.
Terry Bollea?
Not Terry Bollea. Not Jesse Ventura either, but this person does have a Criterion Closet video that is official, so you can check that out if you want. Yeah, not the one you think. So anyways, despite all of those efforts, it is a good movie for a couple of reasons. All the things you said, but this movie's got nice. Jarrett, do you know about contrast? Do you know about layers? Jared, do you have any idea what a metaphor is? No metaphors. But this movie does have nice layering contrasts, which I kind of like. So we already mentioned one thing I think is really good is this guy is working very hard to work for his family. But then in doing that, he becomes the very thing he doesn't want, Jarrett, where his son starts to resent him. Because he is trying so hard to recover this bike that he is hunting old men and hitting his son that his son is like, well, I don't like you anymore. And he's like, no, he's like, you don't understand. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for the family, Jarrett. And it's, it's good. I mean, I don't think they were trying to, well, maybe they were. I was going to say, like, I don't know if they were trying to be like an obsessive, addictive kind of thing. Like modern movies would be a little bit like, it'd be like, they would do this, but they'd say, I gotta do it. It's an obsession. It's an addiction for the family. They'd be very upfront about it. So it's a little more subtle, Jared, a little more subtle. But I do like that, like, everything he's doing is like for his family. And the instant that he has the job is there, things are good kind of for them. And then as soon as it's gone, he kind of unintentionally turns on it all. And he's just like doing everything wrong. You know what I mean? Because he's obsessed.
Well, it's just desperation, though.
Yeah, it's desperate, and that's what I mean. It's like it's an obsessed desperation. He's like, I have to do it to make the family better. But the little boy is like, we just want you, Pops. We don't need money. But that doesn't stop Pops from, setting things straight once in a while.
We don't need money. It's like, well, you kind of do.
I mean, no, I get that. But you know what I mean, where the little boy's like, I just like being with you. And he, like, the little boy doesn't understand. And then the dad's like, oh, we need this for the family. But they're kind of like, we
need buoyancy.
And then they have that nice restaurant scene where it's kind of like, hey, what if money doesn't matter and we just have a nice time together? But then it's kind of creeping in the background. And then in that last scene, that's another one too, where like this whole movie is about how kind of negatively he's kind of impacted by this, and then and what he's trying to do for his family and trying to re-image himself for his son, where he's like, I want you to think that I'm a good man, and then he steals a bike again, and then his son's just like, fuck, this old man kind of sucks, and then he's ruined his image again.
So
they walk off into the sun.
It's disappointment.
Yeah, it is. It's not mad. It's a disappointment, and I think there's a nice build to that. I like how they kind of bounce back and forth. Where I was just like, he's trying to do right for his family, and he's trying to be a good person for his son, but by doing that, he does the opposite, Jarrett.
Exactly.
And damn, ain't that life? Ain't that life, Jill? But yeah, I do like some of the other things. Like, I did really like that scene of the dude climbing the never-ending wall of supplies and what is it? What's the old word for clothes? Those old you know what I mean?
Linen?
Not linen. The other one.
Old time words.
The old time word for a factory that made clothes. Fuck, I'll think of it. Industrial Revolution type stuff. You know what I mean?
What, you gonna bust out the cotton ginny?
Not that. Something else. What is it called? Not linens, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. I like that dude. And yeah, it's got some nice stuff. I like the rain scene where they're all kind of like hiding, and I like that scene too because it shows how neglected the little boy is. And that scene actually, I think Bruno, I said before, he's the heart of this movie, but that kid's actually a really good actor. I actually liked him a lot in this because when it starts raining, they're running for cover, and that kid fucking goes down hard. He like biffs it and falls into the sewer, and the dad's under there trying to stay dry, and the kid comes in sopping wet with like scrapes on his face, and the dad's like, "What happened?" And the kid looks at him, and it's very Italian. He goes, "I fell. Didn't you see?" Or it's something like, he's like, "I fell." He's like, "Weren't you watching?" And or he's like, "What do you want from me?" I really liked it. I was like, that kid really sold that line. I like the way he said this because it's very annoyed. He's like, "I fell." He's like, "You're supposed to be my dad. You're supposed to take care of me and cover me from the rain, not leave me out in the rain to fall over myself." And that's where that kind of like the
get hit by cars.
Yeah, and
drown.
And I really like I like how Bruno approaches this because everything is like he's starting to become more and more like not distrustful, but like he's like what is this relationship?
Hey,
what is a father?
We could get metaphorical here.
No.
What if the child is the people and the parents is the state of Italy? Society? What if it's like this, like the direction of society? And it's the disappointment in the father. You like that? Someone stole their bike. Someone stole the bike from Italy. They stole their bike, and then now it's like they're trying to get it back, and they're not going to get it, and they're desperate, and they're blind to it, and the little boy's like, "No, state, I don't want you to love me. What about me? What about Bruno?" We gave so much for you. Mama sold her dowry, and we want you back. We'll be okay. Hands.
Well, hands. What kind of hands?
Yeah. What if, RJ?
Hands.
Throwing hands?
Well, hands just in general, I would say.
Irishman hands.
Yeah. But Bicycle Thieves is good. I don't know. I think I like Umberto D more.
Oh yeah.
Because I just like sad old men.
And dogs.
And dogs. But I do like the desperation of this movie.
This is sad middle-aged man and child.
Yeah. Yeah. Where would you place this between Summertime and the Browning version?
Oh my God. Browning version is top shelf stuff, man. Summertime is...
What about Summertime?
Not so good. Not so hot on that one.
Not as hot?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's got too much beefsteak, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, a little bit too much beefsteak?
Yeah, Bicycle Thieves does not quite reach the heights of Umberto D.
No. It's not quite there.
Or even, it's not even as good as Browning version, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Maybe not, yeah.
I don't think so either.
I'd say it's below that, but still very high.
It is. What about Coup de Gras and La Camara Seca?
What?
I don't know. I'm just trying to put this thing in my list.
Okay.
You know, my list is a monster thing that doesn't make sense anymore. Like
your list, huh?
My list. Where does this fit between Mabuse.
Remember when people used to say
Pygmalion.
listicles?
No, I don't remember when people said that.
Maybe we go back to 1948 Italy before people said stupid shit.
Yeah. And gingerly tipped their hats.
Called people folks.
Hey, folks. Hey, guys.
Y'all.
Hey there, guys. Kind of like that.
You want to hear from people who hate bicycle thieves? These are some real eye rollers, I must say.
Okay.
Well, Rogue Critic, I don't care about you. 0.5 star. Simple and clear melodrama. Bad sound and subtitling. Loses focus in the second act. Terrible protagonist. Has some plot holes and time-wasting scenes. Anticlimactic ending. Overrated film, which is further destroyed due to content. Rating F.
This person's controversial film criticism. Here's some other 0.5-star films. The Godfather.
Okay.
Godfather Part 2. The Deer Hunter. What are some other 0.5-star films? Taxi Driver.
They've gone rogue.
Yeah.
Their whole gimmick is I'm going to find things negative to say about things. I am very smart with a thumbs down avatar.
Yeah. They have starred The Mummy, which is Sam Sanchez's favorite film.
Oh,
so
man.
like, I know, 0.5-star to Truman Show.
There you go.
Come on.
How about Kayla? 0.5 star. Nothing about this movie was intriguing to me. Dude didn't have a bike from the beginning, and I figured he shouldn't have accepted the job. Wow.
That's some logic.
That tells me a lot about this person.
Yeah, that's logic.
Then he couldn't hold on to the one he had.
It was stolen.
I've had things stolen, and there's never been justice. Your best bet is to acquire a replacement. How this is anyone's favorite movie, I have no idea. So I don't know what $6,700 like lira are in like equivalencies. It's like, so say it's like $67, okay? Like in 1948 bucks. If it was like that's the currency because of like actual like brutal inflation, where your dollar's worth nothing. Yeah, it's still like, okay, this guy's talking about I make $8 a day, and you go, that's going to take a while to save up and buy a new bike that you can't save up for because you can't get a job, Kayla. Also, I've also seen it happen where the police ask people to change their testimony to protect someone with a clean record plus potential, just for the lucky person to get into more legal trouble later. The movie ended too soon, IMO. Didn't reach much of a point.
We've personally seen that.
IMO.
Get the fuck out of here. A lira is worth 1 lira is 5 cents.
Well, okay, there you go.
0.05 United States.
And that's now. That's not even like
it's current day.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it in like 1948, but it's always one of those ones. Like, is that just because when you see like this is like 50,000 lira, and you're like, oh, I don't know what that means. Yen's easier though. It's just decimal points.
Yeah. Some of Kayla's favorite movies are American Psycho and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
They just half-starred in the Mouth of Madness, and their review was corny.
Get out of here.
They half-starred Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me.
Oh boy.
Good Will Hunting.
Oh boy.
And one of Jarrett's favorite movies, Scarface, which he's quoted, I believe, 2 times tonight already. So.
No, that's not true.
Just once at least.
Nope.
Definitely once.
Absolutely not.
You didn't talk about getting the power.
And then the money, I was quoting the Simpsons.
What is the Simpsons?
I don't know. I don't know.
You can't say.
I can't say. But that was a Simpsons quote.
Oh, okay.
That was Homer J. Simpson.
Is that the new out for things now? I was quoting the Simpsons.
Yeah, it's actually a fact. I was quoting the Simpsons.
It's a riff. It's kind of a tour de force.
How many times have I seen that episode of The Simpsons compared to the one time I watched Scarface and I didn't like that movie?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
How many Scarface?
How about Meadow? What does Meadow Cortion have to say? You think? Had to watch this for film class. I hated every second of it. Thanks. Emma Durden. No. That's a good one always. Sam 14 Grapes. This was definitely a movie that was made and still exists. I love that Letterboxd one. That's a good one too.
That's very common now.
This is a thing that exists. Letterboxd. How about Cheyenne Oxendine? Half a star. He didn't even find his bicycle. Well, it's called Bicycle Thieves. There's no guarantee.
Yeah.
And then there's Brandon, half a star. By far, one of the worst films I've ever seen.
That doesn't mean much.
Come on.
Brandon says that he 100% has better taste than you.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Is what Brandon says.
Lakin says, half a star. I hate this movie so much. Half a star. Don't steal bicycles.
There's a lot of insight. Oh, Lakin's bio says pee poo poo. And one of their favorite films is Chicago.
On the next page, we have Jacob Mariani. Half a star. Boring and nothing happens. Not worth watching, even as a screensaver. Is that an A's hat he's wearing? Or a person with sunglasses?
I don't know if it's an Oakland A's hat, but it's definitely a hat that has an A on it.
Okay.
It's an A and a period.
A, that A stands for something, RJ.
Oh, it stands for something, all right.
Yeah, A. There's a lot of people say half a star, found this extremely boring, moved at a snail's pace. The only redeeming moment is at the end when the son grabs his father's hand.
Why do people watch this movie?
Mac. Don't understand how this is a classic. How am I supposed to cry for a man who can't chase a biker and when finally on a bike still can't outrun a runner? Lemao. Terrible film. Was pissed off the entire 10-minute ending and felt no remorse. Cute kiddo, though.
What does he mean by someone who can't outrun a bike? Like, pretty historically, bikes are faster than humans.
Well, I guess he didn't like how the end of the movie, he's on a bike and gets caught.
Oh, that was another contrast thing where he gets caught instantly when he steals a bike, but when that guy stole the bike and he's driving through that town square, he's shouting and screaming. He's like, "Hey, stop that guy, and no one does anything.
Yeah, I know.
So
Simpsons land.
You know about contrast?
How about Cammy Mezinger? One star. He didn't even get his bike back. He just got his ass kicked and went home bored.
I mean, that's not a bad review. Ninoramak had one of their popular reviews is for Endgame, and it says, "Why didn't Thanos just put a butt plug in his anus?" And that's one of his most liked reviews.
There you go. 4, 1 star. Most unsatisfying ending ever. What was that? That's all. There's no periods or commas. Nothing. That's it.
These people are pretty definitive.
Oh, wow. Oh, whoa. Okay, I gotta read this one. Last one from Lupe Gonzalez. 1 star. It's at the bottom of page 2. It's like Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Is it?
Pee-wee's bike gets stolen.
Oh, okay.
It's like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but devoid of anything even vaguely interesting. Antonio isn't a good person. He relentlessly harassed that old man at church, and he's a terrible father to Bruno, forcing him to search for his bike all the while, verbally abusing him and even slapped him and gave him wine. I can't even look away from the screen or zone out during this movie because I don't speak Italian and I have to constantly read the subtitles. Not only in this movie boring, but it's tiring to watch.
So, you want to hear about Lupe?
Sure.
From Texas. Favorite films include Star Wars Episode 3 and Avengers Infinity War. In their bio, Chekhov's gun. A dramatic principle that suggests that the detail within a story or play will contribute to the overall narrative. This encourages writers to not make false promises in their narrative by including extemporaneous details that will not ultimately pay off by the last act, chapter, or conclusion. Sequels should not be made with the sole intention to cash out on the popularity of the first film. They should only exist to further and conclude the story. Star rating elaboration. And then they have an explanation of what every star means.
Mm-hmm.
We know what the stars mean, you guys. If you do that, okay, but I know what 5 stars means, and I know what 1 star means. I get it. I understand. This guy's got a lot of stuff. He's got full paragraphs for each of the stars. I know what 2 stars means. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do.
I get it. We're good.
Any final thoughts on Bicycle Thieves, a.k.a. Bicycle Thief? Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. I think people are going to be mad that we're not like creaming our jeans over it. I think we both like it.
It's very good.
And I think we both talked very highly of it. But
YouTube
never still going to be mad.
It always surprises you. People will go, even the movies we like.
Yeah.
They get so, why did you say they're ignorant fucks?
They say, obviously, they don't understand.
It's like we like it. More. We like it. I know.
That's what I mean. When we like movies, people are still weird at us.
They get madder, actually.
Yes.
So, or me, because I think Kurosawa is real mid, and people don't like that one. They always get mad. Someone got really mad that I thought Lord Depths is like the worst Kurosawa movie ever, which is something no one's ever entertained this thought. Apparently, that Kurosawa has made bad movies, genuinely bad movies.
But I spoke generally positively about most of the Kurosawa films, so it's not even like it's like we're both shitting on it. Why are they mad at that you don't like it?
I don't know, because they want to make sure the world agrees with them, and if they don't, there'll be fucking consequences.
Yeah. I don't know, bikes, am I right? Bikes.
After the break, we're off to the Tour de France.
The what?
I don't know. Is that a thing? People bike? People like biking? How long till we have another movie about bicycles in the Creep?
How long until we have movies about bikes?
Yeah, when's the next movie about bikes?
This
was it. Like, is this our opportunity? And we didn't. Oh, fuck. Shit.
I don't.
Fuck. Piss.
Ass.
Fuck.
Are you doing?
That's for the people on YouTube who say, "Oh, why do you use such language?"
That's another one.
Why
are people such? Why are people such nerds?
Yeah, lighten up.
I can swear if I want. Get out of here.